Greetings, friends and followers. This is Nurses Talking. I am Dale Barzi. As always, if you like what you see and hear, subscribe. Leave us a comment. Let us know what you think. Here on Nurses Talking, we speak to nurses anywhere in the world and at any stage in their nursing journey. Today, I'm very pleased to welcome Rashida Ruwa out of Kenya. Rashida has been a nurse for over 12 years. Currently, she specializes in psychiatric care and within correctional facilities. She's a freelance health writer. She's a content strategist. So, welcome, Rashida.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me here.
My absolute pleasure. My pleasure. So, firstly, what
Yes.
brought you into nursing?
Wow. Um, I would say it goes back to my childhood.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So my grandfather used to be a non-hypertensive and diabetic. So growing up, I would see him take his medication. I would see him take his insulin shots, and I used to ask myself so many questions. In as much as I would ask my mom or ask him like, "What's wrong? Why do you have to take this medicine? Why do you have to be careful over what you eat and all that?" But I couldn't get clear answers. So I used to imagine like he must be dealing with something so difficult, like to the point that he has to take medication every day. He has to take care of himself. Like he has to give himself these
Mm-hmm.
injections and all that. So it just grew with me. Like when I grow up, I just want to become a nurse so that I can be able to take care of him. So he won't have to like go to the hospital all the time. I'll just be there to take care of him. Plus, I also wanted to understand whatever that he was having. Yeah.
Yeah.
But partially, I'll also say that my mother influenced that decision. She thought that it was a stable career. So she was like,
Mm-hmm.
just going to do nursing. Yeah.
Yeah.
But at
Yeah.
the core of it was just my grandfather who influenced me to become a nurse. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And that brings a lot of people into the profession, actually, knowing someone or watching someone who is, struggling with something. And especially as a child and you're feeling helpless and unable to help, it feeds that
Yeah.
passion. So you currently specialize in psychiatric care. Was that always your interest?
No, funny enough, no. It never even crossed my mind that I would one day go into psychiatric nursing. I used to imagine myself doing something way completely different from psychiatric nursing. But then once I got posted into the correctional facilities, that's when it hit me. I used to hear of correctional facilities from the outside, but I never got to imagine what happens when people are undergoing the justice system and all that. So once I practiced for 5 years, and I would see these clients or patients coming to the hospital all the time. Sometimes the symptoms are not genuine
Mm,
symptoms or such. Perhaps I could see someone today, he comes with a headache, tomorrow he comes back with something else, tomorrow he comes back maybe the stomach ache. So it got to a point I was like, it can't be. We could be just administering medications, but this thing could be more of a psychological issue.
hmm
Yeah, so it kind of nudged me to like, okay, for me to be able to provide better services to this population, then perhaps I could do something to do with psychology or psychiatry so that I can be able to understand them. Plus, I myself had to undergo the military trainings before I could even be posted there. So I know what we go through during the training, and I know what other officers undergo through. And I was like, it's a tough job, and we are dealing with a very special population. So we must be carrying a lot. So it's like if I'm feeling it, I'm assuming even the other officers are feeling it. It also pushed me to go and do psychiatry because I was like, for us to be able to take care of these inmates and protect them, then we have to be like mentally stable.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
it also pushed me to go and do psychiatric nursing so that I
Yeah.
could be able to do the most that I can to help others out here.
Yeah. 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 And understood. Understood. How was that adjustment transferring to, that kind of setting? Because, for me, um, it's not a setting that would appeal to me at all. I can't stand the thought of locked areas.
Yeah.
So how was that transition? What was a big challenge for you?
Um, I wouldn't say that it was that challenging, because
Mm,
it was something that somehow I felt called to do.
mm,
Because once I got out of college from nursing school, I had the privilege to work for the private sector. I
mm-hmm,
worked at a very busy facility, a private facility, and it drained the life out of me. I was
mm,
practicing nursing, but still it felt more transactional.
yeah,
I would give the services, yes, but most of the clients that I came to encounter were more like, okay, we deserve this because you are paying for this, and you should even break your back to go beyond whatever that you're offering. There's
mm-hmm,
nothing like, okay, thanks for doing this or something. No, it was just like, it was too transactional. And I was like, no, I can't continue working here. It's not the
yeah,
image that I had on my mind. I wanted to do
yeah,
nothing so that I can be able to offer my services to those who really need them. So
yeah,
then I started looking out and seeing, weighing my options, like where best could I go and offer these services. And it crossed my mind, okay, correctional facilities. And yeah, it's an underserved population
yeah,
because you know how the society views the correctional
mm-hmm,
facilities.
mm-hmm,
We have this perception that everyone who goes there is a bad person. So I was like, okay, one, I believe not everyone who goes there is a bad person. And even if they are a bad person, they still deserve some compassion. So I was like, okay, let me just go try this out. I'm just going to take myself to the correctional facilities, and that's where I'm going to practice. So it wasn't that hard to transition because it's something that I wanted to do. I
yeah,
wanted to be part of that change. I wanted to reach those people that are mostly forgotten by our society. And
mm-hmm.
that's how I ended up there. Yeah.
No problem. Congratulations to you. Congratulations to you. So, though, um, one of the things, well, what do you think you would like to see change about, nursing life per se? Either the way nurses are viewed, the education that we get, anything. What do you think you'd like to see change?
Um, there's so many things that I would love to see change. Um, for example, okay, where I come from, most people in our society have this perception that nurses are people who failed at school or they didn't perform that well, so they ended up like doing
Mm-hmm.
nursing. They don't see it like it's a worthy career like other careers. And most people who are coming into nursing are mostly coming because of the money. Yeah, so I wish people could somehow see nursing differently through our eyes and like undermining the work that we do.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
I personally had to deal with that. I remember when I told my family, like, I've decided to become a nurse, like, some of my uncles were like, you can't be serious. Like, we didn't take you to school and get good grades so that you can become a
Yes,
nurse.
and yes.
Do
Mhm.
you even know what, by that time, they're asking me, like, do you even know what nurses do? And I was like, what? They just clean wounds and carry bedpans. Is that what you want? And I was like, yeah, that's what I want. And that's the perception that I feel like it needs to change.
Mhm.
Some issues are more systematic, like they're so broad we can't even change them.
Yeah.
But once I got into nursing, once I practiced for some time, I feel like something else that I would like to see for those who are currently practicing is for nurses to have access, for nurses to normalize uh, accessing therapy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know how things are where you are, but where I come from, we don't have that. In fact, like even getting the services, you'd have gone through so many challenges. I personally went through that, and I wouldn't wish somebody else to like go through the same, you know. People fail to understand that nurses carry so much, not just personally, but even for the patients. And we
Yeah,
come to contact with so many cases on a daily basis that you rarely even have space to carry your own issues.
yeah, yeah,
So I wish we could normalize nurses being able to access therapy without being judged or having to
yeah,
go through these difficult channels or stigmatizing them, you know.
yeah,
It,
yeah.
it's not a very pleasing feeling. Like I went through it and I wouldn't wish it upon somebody else. So
Yeah, I know what you mean.
yeah,
And because of that, and that's not just where you are. I think
yeah,
perhaps in some areas it's becoming, a little more loose, but that's not just where you are. That's, I think,
okay.
I feel that that's very global. But
Mm-hmm.
because of that, many of us turn to very unhealthy ways to deal
Yeah,
with the stress of it all and the weight of it all. Yeah,
yeah, true, very true.
yeah, yeah. So you're a freelance health writer.
Yes.
Yeah. Were you always a writer? Were you always interested in writing?
Um, I'll still take it back to my childhood. I When I was growing up, and I've always been an introverted person.
Mm-hmm.
So I used to find myself being more expressive through writing.
Writing.
Yeah, but I never took it seriously until like 5 years ago, after serving for a very long time under the correctional facilities, under the correctional department, and having undergone the military training, we have this chain of command whereby you have to like follow a certain way of things being done. So along that process, my voice was kind of shut down because whenever you wanted to express something, you'd be told, no, you can't say this. You have to go through this person. You have to go through this person. Or, okay, I want to address this issue to my senior officer. Then we're told, no, you can't do that. You have to, So I was like, okay, how else am I ever going to be able to express myself if I'm not allowed to talk wherever I'm currently stationed at? So that's when I started writing, but it was also partly because of the COVID pandemic. Yeah, like when the COVID pandemic hit, like everything came down, everything crashed, and everyone was just looking for an outlet
Yeah.
to survive and just cope with whatever that you are dealing with at that time. And I tuned into my writing skills, and I picked it up from there. I was like, okay, if I'm not able to like advocate directly at work, then perhaps I could do it over the internet. Yeah, and they can't stop me when I do it out there. At least they can stop me here, but outside here they can't do it. So it
Mm-hmm.
was a win, and that's how I started it.
Okay. Okay. So what do you see then as your big vision for this? How big do you want this writing thing to grow?
Um, I'm looking to transitioning fully in the future,
Mm-hmm.
hopefully, because when I got into writing, I also came to notice several gaps as well. I came to notice like most health information feels too cold, feels too distant, it doesn't talk to a person like me, and I really wish I could give that to other people, such that when they come to access something that I've written, then they'll feel safe and be able to like trust the healthcare system all over again. Because some people just shut down after reading something online and they're like, oh no, I can't go to hospital because of this and this. So that's like my bigger vision, to build a brand whereby people will feel safe in healthcare spaces
Yeah,
again. Yeah.
yeah. I understand that. I understand that. I get it. I get it. So if I said to you, Rashida, I really would like to go into corrections. I'd like to be a corrections nurse. What advice would you give me?
Wow. Ah, my advice would be like, okay, go, but with your eyes open and have firm boundaries. Like I wish somebody would have told me to have firm boundaries when I got into the correctional services,
Mm,
because due to the bureaucratic kind of way of management whereby you have to follow a chain of command, like if you don't
mm,
have firm boundaries, then you'll end up being tossed left, right, center, because you can't say no when somebody calls yes sir, when somebody calls yes madam, you can't say no. But if you have better boundaries in place, then you are more likely to survive. Then I'll also tell them like to keep wins journal. The work that we do there is so heavy. Sometimes you get lost in it and you start to question
yes.
yourself like, am I even making any change? Am I even impacting someone? Am I even changing somebody's life, or even helping somebody through this rehabilitation process? So if you keep that journal, at least on those days whereby you feel like, today I can't even take myself to work, then you are able to remind yourself, okay, there's this inmate I was able to attend to and I've seen him move from point A to B, then it's worth going back to work. And finally, I could just tell them like, don't be afraid to pivot, because nothing is ever evolving as well. So if you feel like the correctional services are not where you're comfortable to be at, then don't be afraid to pivot. It's
Yeah,
okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. It is okay. It is okay.
Okay.
You've touched a little bit along the conversation in this conversation about how heavy it can be to
Yeah.
be a nurse, how much you absorb of
Yeah.
other people's, problems and emotions and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So
True.
what do you do to take care of you? First of all, what does self-care actually mean to you? And what do you do?
So previously,
Uh-huh.
if you could have asked me that question like a few years back, I would probably have told you self-care means taking myself to the spa, you know, uh, doing these luxurious things that you see
Mm-hmm.
all over the internet. But over the years, I've come to realize that self care to me at the moment is more like coming home to myself, you know. Um, Basically, just remembering that I'm not just a role, I'm not just a nurse, you know. Behind that title, I'm me, I'm a mom, I'm a writer, I'm a person, and I matter just like that. And I don't have to like do these huge glorified things to like feel like I'm showing myself that I matter. Even the little things count. So that's how like, yeah, see self-care.
I would say especially the little things count.
Yes, yes, yes,
Yeah.
very true. Especially the little things. I used to take those for granted. I used to be like, "What do you mean? Like even having 15 minutes for myself daily is enough." No, for me to feel like I'm really doing the self care thing, then I have to like book a trip and go somewhere far. Yeah, that's self care. But right now, I've come to like really value even the 15 minutes that I get with myself, and like get to feel like I'm myself without all these other titles. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And there's a lot of rejuvenation that can happen in those 15 minutes.
yeah,
Actually,
very true, very true.
yes, it's yeah. So I have one last question.
Mm-hmm.
If you could tell me what you think of as the most essential quality of a nurse that you think every nurse should have, if you could tell me that in one word, what would that word be?
Empathy,
Empathy. Okay.
no doubt.
Empathy.
Like, I would say empathy, because when I got into nursing,
Mm.
I came to be under these other nurses who had practiced way longer than myself. And I got to see both sides of how it looked like, those who were empathetic and those who were not empathetic. And I came to see the consequences of that. And I would feel so bad, you know, when nurses would like lash out to these patients without even taking the time to understand where this person is coming from, whatever that they are going through, before they could even plan for their care. So I was like, this has to be like my non-negotiable thing. Like, if I'm not empathetic, then I believe I won't be able to understand where my patient is coming from. If I'm
Yeah.
not able to put myself inside your shoes, then I won't be able to give you the best care that you deserve. I need to put myself in your shoe so that I can understand you better and so that I can be able to serve you
Mm.
without judging you. Yeah. Because I feel some people are also so judgmental, and yeah, it's just not it for this.
You know, I agree with you. I agree with you. But sometimes I think that that goes back to the thing we just talked about,
Yeah.
self-care. And I think it goes back
True,
to
true.
someone um, not being able or have not had the opportunity to properly take care of their own self. And
Yeah, true.
so this is manifests itself. It has to come out of you somehow,
Yeah,
and it
true, true, true.
manifests itself in resentment and and anger and impatience
Mhm.
and all of those things that make it hard for you to deal with someone else.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
totally agree with you. Like, thinking about it, like, I now see the magnitude of how important it is to
Yeah.
like take care of yourself as a nurse. And
Mm-hmm.
I wish like we could spread the word out to other nurses as well, because one way or the other, it affects you, it affects your colleagues, it affects
Mm-hmm.
your family, it affects your patients,
Yeah.
it affects everyone
Yeah.
surrounding you. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
very true.
Yeah. And that's one of the reasons I asked that question. I ask it of every single person just because it is so very, very important and we really cannot gloss it over.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. Yeah. Rashida, thank you so much for this conversation. I truly appreciate it. Are there any last words you'd like to leave us with?
um my last words would be, there's so much beauty in this work that we do as nurses. It's a very rewarding career, but if you're not careful, it can consume you,
Mhm.
or the system can also make it hard for you. So yeah, let everyone just make time for themselves and just look out for themselves before they reach that breaking point.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Thank you so much for that. On that note, thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Yeah.